Welcome to the Real Me podcast. Um, I bet that all these episodes I do this, when I get massive following, people will be seeing this way later into the future than they're seeing it right now. That's my projection because the videos I've published recently got barely any views. Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I literally doing something wrong? Well, I'm not posting just to get following. I'm posting because I just want to post and I have things to say and I want to come on and say them and express things authentically through my two podcasts that I have and through my music. So, it is what it is. And no matter what you do and how you do it on YouTube, you cannot control the outside world. You can try, but you can't control the outside world. So you might as well just do whatever you want to do when it comes to how often you post videos and do all that stuff. Because you can't control the outside. I could do all the things that those YouTubers were recommending and still not gain huge following over time because you can't control others. You can't control the outside. So, what I wanted to talk about today is I don't think that this image clearly illustrates it, but um negative conditioning. I think this is a very, very big topic, and I want to look up just some things about negative conditioning before even doing this. So it says a behavior is strengthened or increased by getting rid of something unpleasant. Um, don't think that this quite covers what I want to cover with this in this episode. Um, conditioning is basically you're training or accustoming a person or animal to behave in a, as it says here on the dictionary, in a certain way or to accept just certain circumstances. You're conditioned into acting a certain way. Um, for example, being in school, I'm sorry to break it to you. I am sorry to break the hard truth to you about school. But school is conditioning. It's a conditioning center. I mean, you're taught to do the same thing. No, you're taught to do things in a certain way. You have to follow the rules and do all that. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but there are some negative aspects to that conditioning. Yes, there are a lot of benefits to it, such as learning skills. Well, I will say some of the things you're learning because a lot of the things you learn in school, you learn and then you forget and you don't even use in your daily life. Like if you're going to school, learn the things that you need to learn for your life. Learn about spirituality, learn about essential skills in life when it comes to math, reading, doing, hands-on activities. Like school shouldn't be about these trivial things that you learn and you forget. So there are aspects of school that are good. It's not all negative. However, in school, and you're taught like this is what you should learn about, and this is how far you should go. by I'm this authority telling you, in this textbook telling you, instead of you doing the research outside to learn about it on your own and draw your own conclusions to it, to be independent learning. And I think that schools are opening up to making having students become more independent when it comes to their learning. But still, it is conditioning in the way where you have to follow the rules and get things done. Um, and it's not like work. It is not like work. You're not paid for it. You go to work. I go to work for way less time than 8 hours a day, and yet I'm paid for it. And I went to school for 12 years of my life, 13 years of my life, and I was not paid for the work that I have done in school. I mean, that's what I honestly have to say about it. And that's my honest opinion about it. Yet it is important nonetheless, but it's not like a job. You're doing all that work and yet you're not getting paid for the work. Now, you could also argue, like, yes, going to college classes and doing all that and you're not getting paid for that. Well, okay. Okay, that's valid. Yeah, I see the point in that. Um, but yet I don't. Um, I mean, with classes, you are already paying to get into the class. So there you go. But with school, it's kind of like a free thing, a mandatory thing that students are expected to just go into and put themselves into. Well, excuse me. Parents do this because it's required of them to put them through school. Did they pay for the schools? That's debatable. And the students are not getting any money for their for all that hard work that they're doing. Now, I do not want to see comments about people correcting me and about people explaining this stuff and why this thing is the way it is. I don't want to see that because I'm very well aware of everything that is coming out of my mouth to those who are watching later, because I have a very, very small following right now, and when the comments come in and the views increase, people will go find this video and watch it and have things to say about it. So anyway, this is years from now. I don't know how long. Maybe it's the end of this year. I don't know. Um, but so that's one example of conditioning. And I'm talking about negative conditioning here. Like, I was just doing a video today about Lilith and Gemini on my Best of Google podcast, and apparently when I was younger, I was conditioned that my ideas in speaking, like I shouldn't say that, I shouldn't overspeak, invalidating my own ideas, like my mind is not um, sharp and intelligent enough, and my view of reality and my understanding of reality and my ideas about it are not valid enough and they're not realistic enough, and then I should rely on others, and then I should stay small and not speak my ideas and not share my truth and not continue to learn and study and grow independently apart from others. So, intellectual self-worth is really, um, you know, reigned with that. And Lilith can indicate what you were negatively conditioned into because it's like what people reject you for these qualities that you express. Lilith is what others reject you for expressing. So, in my Chiron in the first house, Chiron represents wounds. And so I've had the wound through childhood and through my life that I was too big, too much, not enough, not something wrong with me, that I'm not good enough person, that I can't express myself. And as a result, I become very, very critical and um, very judgmental over myself, and not just accepting myself as I am and being my true self. So, both of these placements in my chart represent negative conditioning. And I think it's a good thing that I did that podcast today on Lilith and Gemini. And this video follows that in this Real Me podcast. So if you're interested in that Lilith and Gemini, it is in that other podcast for you to check out. YouTube and Spotify. It's in on both of those places, on both of those platforms. So let me think. Negative conditioning. While family can be a wonderful thing and a great thing, there are aspects to it that are very much negative. Um, Conditioning, I think, comes from conditional. You condition people, and that is showing conditional love by like saying, I'm not just loving you for who you are, regardless of whatever you do. I'm conditioning you into acting a certain way. And if you act a certain way, then you're worthy of love. Then I will love you. Like conditioning and conditional love are related. Granted, we do evolve through others, and we do, learn through our environment and do all that. We need our parents and we need family to guide us. But we also need our inner compass, our inner intuition, our inner knowing within ourselves of what is right, of what feels right, of what is for our highest good from a spiritual perspective inside of us. So it's both. It's not one or the other. But there are aspects of conditioning that we are taught into believing as we are growing up that are very, very hindering for us. And I think that I don't have anything written down here, so I'm just kind of coming up with this on the spot. I made a podcast about the spiritual side of money. And I made a podcast about Neptune, the second house over Vastus at Google more than astrology. And I was conditioned that money is this very, very negative thing that is very, very, things are very, very expensive, and it takes a lot of hard work to earn money. And it's a very, very tough world with money. And, um, y- earning things through working, and earning your way around the world, it's like that is a very, very negative part of our conditioning. Because it's like you're not worthy as you are. You have to become worthy by earning your worth and earning, working in order to get money in order to earn worth. Like money is not a reflection of self-worth, it just represents self-worth. It doesn't reflect the money, that's why I changed the title of that episode, because it was like, ooh, this is not accurate to what I was saying and the point that I wanted to make. So money doesn't reflect your self-worth. You are worth Money does not buy happiness, money does not buy self-worth. You are worthy without money. You don't need money and material things to make you worthy. And yet we condition into, you know, oh my gosh. I brought this up several times, Dance Moms, Abby Lee Miller and Dance Moms. There was a lot of conditioning in that show, I can tell you that much right now. And one of those conditions was you're not entitled. You have to earn things. Like she asked someone, do you deserve things or do you earn things? And I would say both. or just deserve things. I wouldn't directly answer the question. I would say, you know what? You are worthy of things without having to earn them. I would honestly tell her that because that is a very, very sad reality to live if you have to earn everything in your life to feel good about yourself, to feel prosperous, to feel happy, to feel satisfied, to feel well. It is a sad world out there. And this is a sad part of our conditioning, is that we have to earn things in order to feel worthy, to feel good about yourself. Well, you don't have to feel worthy. You do, excuse me, you don't have to earn things to feel worthy. So that's a negative conditioning there about about money. And about money, a hindrance, an inconvenience, a hindrance to things that you want to enjoy because of all the expensive prices and things like that. Like, going into a certain place, like I was going to my local Mexican restaurant, and I was like thinking to myself, why can't I just enjoy and be attracted to human beings without having to always pay to get that connection? Always pay in a certain place to, get my way around the world when it comes to humans. Why can't it be just a free from your heart thing where you're just being with other human beings without having money involved in the situation? I mean, you could throw the question around like, why don't people just do things from the goodness of their heart? I mean, you could honestly, seriously throw that question around. I am so attracted to things related to humanity. Um, the written word is written by humans, certain individuals, history, um, subject matters, social media. I mean, all these human things, music on Spotify, like all of these human things I am very attracted to right now in my life. And money is something that I am not attracted to with as a human creation. And money hinders you from that, or hinders me from um that connection to that attraction of that human connection. So um that's what I want to say about money. Um you know that's one aspect of conditioning. Another big thing with conditioning is to put others first. Put others first. Oh, no. I want to reframe this. Put yourself first. Yes, consider others and do it from a heart-centered place as opposed to, oh, I have to do this because it's just logical and rational. And I was conditioned into it. Like, you are kind to others, and you are compassionate, and you are considerate to others, and you help others because it feels right to you, because it's from a loving place, because it's from a loving, genuine, heartfelt, kind, caring place, not from this conditioned, logical thing where you don't like. If you're going to apologize to someone, mean it. Don't apologize unless you mean it. Don't apologize if you don't mean it. Don't just apologize because, oh, you have to and you were forced to apologize. Do it only if you mean that apology. Like, don't do it in an insincere way. Like, it's like I was seeing an episode of That'll Teach Them on Wall Street's Parents, and like I was cringing because the students were reading off a written um, and I may add to this contemplation later on, I don't know, written, message of an apology, and like this matron was saying, I hope that they meant it. Most likely, chances are they didn't mean it. Because they had to do it and they were conditioned into it. Like kindness and love should not be negatively conditioned, and you shouldn't be forced to just be kind and be loving. It should come naturally to you, and it should come from a heart-centered place and a loving place. Yes, consider others. Yes, be kind and love thy neighbor and do all that stuff that these religions preach, of being that you're devoted to, like Christianity, like God loves you and it's an unconditional, warm love, which is about loving others. Yes, it is very, very important. Very important. However, not sacrificing your own identity, your own needs, your own values, your own wants and desires, all for others. Like, not sacrificing that for others is 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 what I'm saying here. Um, putting yourself first, taking care of yourself, like just to please others and just serve others and think of others and only think of others, not yourself. Well, that's negative conditioning because you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your energy. Like I'm telling you what, in my life, older self. Listen to me. I'm following this at 21 years old. At 41, I'm still going to be doing this. If somebody drains my inner peace, hinders me from my inner peace, from living my inner peace, from being peaceful within myself and being happy within myself. It makes me feel like a bad person, like an unhappy person. It makes me feel just so unhappy about something that I feel just so good about. Well, then I'm not going to let them destroy my inner peace. I'm not going to live from the outside in. I'm going to live from the inside out. Like we're taught to live from the outside in. To that others also others judgment and others' criticisms is a reflection of us, and we should let that define us. And that's saying something about us. If somebody like others, we see ourselves only through others' eyes, seeing ourselves through others' eyes, and their criticisms matter, and we should take them in consideration. And they mean something about us. Well, guess what? It's the opposite. People are going to say things in your life. That's just the reality. You need to be strong and secure within yourself and not let the criticisms and the judgments get to you where you are pleasing others and catering to others and doing all this. And, letting the judgments of others, um, get the better of you in your life. Letting others' criticisms, like taking it so personally and then doing it against your own values, against what you want to express, against your own inner peace, against what you want in your life by pleasing the other person. So, yeah, I think I'm going to write some of these things down because ideas are coming to me, and I just want to write some of these things down actually, just so that I have a list. So let's see. And then the other one is Okay, I have a list that I'm looking at right now so that I can just ground my thought. It's not all up in the head. So, taking others' judgments personally. I'm gonna come back to that. What I want to talk about here is pleasing others. Like, oh my gosh, I am so glad that we live in the day and age that we do. So otherwise I might be rejected for all this stuff that I'm talking about. Like, so sad that in the past women couldn't vote. They were subservient to their husbands. They had to do what their husbands wanted them to do and just stay home and take care of the house and take care of the um fold the clothes and just couldn't go out and achieve their dreams. They had to stay at home, sad. That was their conditioning growing up. And that like you're taught like this is how to act. This is how to behave. Um, this is how you must present yourself. Um, Notice, be aware of like checking with yourself. Does this feel true for me? Does this feel right for me? Or does this feel like this is hindering my own self-expression and me being true to myself and me being in my identity and me giving myself a solid sense of self-worth and feeling good about myself? Like, is it keeping me from being myself or not? Like checking with yourself about that and be aware with yourself about that. So, pleasing others is a really, really, big thing. Um, that comes into play here. Either you have to cater to others and do what they want you to do and not live your own life and go in your own quest and be independent and live a life for yourself and do all this. And I think that I'm talking to the Libra South Nodes, Aries North Nodes, Cancer South Nodes, Capricorn North Nodes here. Um, in Cancer South Node, I'm going to talk about Cancer South Node and Capricorn North Node sometime. And I'm going to talk about how they're pulled down by family. Like, if they know negative conditioning, if anyone knows negative conditioning, it's Cancer South Nodes because family like pulls them down because they care for them. It's almost like a protective thing. Like it feels loving and caring, yet it feels suffocating, yet it feels coddling, yet it feels like they're keeping you from living your soul's dream and being yourself and getting out into the world and going after your goals and achieving your dreams and doing all that. Like it's a protective thing, yet it's caring. It's like a Darman film that I was seeing, where this mother was coddling her child with keeping her from painting and living in an own apartment. And she, and her father understood, like, you can do whatever you want, you can do what's right for you. And she was like, always the dreamer, never the one to face reality. Like, her father just made a video to her, made a video to her, was not in the room, was at a hospital or something and didn't even know her. And yet, Um, he understood her better than she did, and naturally the tears came down because she was very, very touched by that message. And the mother was like, oh no, I can't believe what's coming out of my husband's mouth right now. Or, divorce husband, whatever. Her husband in the hospital. I don't know what the situation was. Yeah, but the mother was conditioning her, like keeping her at home, like, like brainwashing and manipulating and gaslighting her into, oh, it's right for you to stay with me. You're meant to stay with me. I can take care of you. I can cook for you. I can clean up for you. I can do all this stuff. Stay home with me. Stay home. Well, that means live a small life. Like it's guilt tripping. Like it makes you feel guilty. Like, oh, I don't want to hurt this family member when this family member is being so loving to me, but yet I want to do my own thing. I want to be my own soul self. I want to follow my own soul. I want to follow my own calling. I want to be an independent life. That's why teenagers like feel like they've got to break away from their parents, and because of this negative conditioning, they sort of go to the egoic low road of going out to parties and drinking and doing all these kind of risky behaviors. And, when they become my age, I mean, I'm the exception. I'm living at home with my parents right now, but, when they become my age, they want to, move out and become independent because they're, adults. Um, like there was a sad story back in 2019, I believe it was, of a high school kid who had an argument with his parents about his phone, that he couldn't use his phone. Then he walked out of the house and then he walked in the snow, and then he never returned, and then his life ended. Like it was a very, very sad story for someone to pass away so young and so innocent as this teenager was. So family can pull you down from people who say you can't follow your dreams. Or like the typical con parents. Like, for example, in Anne Shirley, like Anne of Green Gables, the parents condition them into you must play an instrument, you must go to finishing school, like Diana's parents. You must act a certain way, and the aunt of Diana, Aunt Josephine, was like, follow your passions, do what you want to do, pursue your dreams. And she was like, I can't, because I can't win against my parents. Well, you've got to stand up to the people in your life, no matter how close they are, no matter how much you care about them, and say, no, I am going to follow what my soul is calling me to follow. I'm going to do what is right for me. I'm going to go after my dreams. I'm going to break this conditioning and do what is right for me and go after my dreams. Like the parents that force their children into being a doctor or a lawyer, or going to college, going to certain college and getting these certain credits, and living the certain planned out life that they molded them and they wanted them and they conditioned them to live, yet it's not the life that they authentically want to live. It's not the life that they authentically choose to live. And so that's also conditioning. Um, so the next thing is taking others' judgments personally. Well, this is a big one. I mean, there's so many aspects to conditioning. I'm probably not going to cover it all. But I'm probably going to add to this in future. But I'm taking others' judgments personally. I don't know if this is conditioning per se, but it could be. Because what you do impacts others, and what others have feelings, and you got to consider others, and that's good and all, but to the point where you're taking everyone's judgments personally of you, or you have to take the criticism, you have to take the judgment. You don't have to apply it. You don't have to apply the criticism. Be open to it and be receptive and be open to the criticism, but you don't have to apply it. You have free will of what you can do with this criticism. Well, like I'm not going to apply the criticisms that I get unless it's true for me. I'm not going to apply these criticisms unless it feels like, oh, this is right to do in my life. Okay, that's what I'm saying here. Like criticisms, constructive criticisms are merely suggestions. They're merely ideas. This person's reflection of what they're saying, which you don't need to dismiss and become defensive about, but you don't need to just follow every aspect of what they're saying and do exactly what they're telling you. You can, um, follow your own way and um, do your own thing. Um, Conditioning with social media. Um, you know, like you have to do it this way. You have to do your videos in this way. You have to, cater to the audience. You have to be like, oh my gosh. I was watching an astrologer who said, I'm going to be as neutral as I can on this. And I don't want to assume anything about this person. If he genuinely felt like in his heart he wanted to be neutral and he wanted to do this and it felt right to him, I'm not going to stop him from doing what he feels is right for him and his authenticity. But for me, I'm not gonna be neutral if it's something I'm passionate about, okay? I'm not. I'm going to be my real true self and I'm gonna express what I feel passionate about and what I, want to do. Like I'm like this is not a, for a grade in college essays and all this kind of things. Like if I feel passionate, then I'm gonna be passionate. If I don't feel passionate or enthusiastic, I'm not gonna be that. Like I'm going to express my authentic self unapologetically on here. And that involves not catering to the audience, catering to do what the audience wants me to do. Be neutral, get to the point, edit myself. Um, you know, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of the comment that I received on basically dim down your light and don't express yourself and basically live a life where you're not making yourself socially awkward by getting away from social media and like you're kind of conditioned out of social media. There's good things about that conditioning, but if you feel like it's hindering your self-expression and your creativity, then no. It's one thing to be just so consumed and so absorbed in it that you're not balanced and you're not focusing on other things, and it's hurting relationships, and it's um and you feel like you're overdoing it within yourself and others are, reflecting that back to you. It's one thing there, but it's also another thing to feel like I can't express myself, I can't be who I am. So, not taking other people in your life judgment seriously, not taking comments online seriously. Like you cannot take anybody's critical comment seriously because it's the whole world watching your thing. It's people from all around the world, from all walks of life, people that you don't even know who are just tuning in, who have different viewpoints, who have different lives, don't know who you are, that only know you from watching your video. So you cannot take it personally. You cannot take it seriously. Like I'm not going to take comments so seriously. They are written comments. Written comment. That's that's all they are. It's like written words. Written words. Like I would take it more seriously if the person was actually making a video and talking and being their true self. In that case, there would be less judgmental comments and, there would be more filtering, or I would take it more seriously if the person was actually talking and, to me. Then again, I wouldn't because they were strangers, like people in your life. In comments doesn't really matter. But as for comments, especially like they're just written comments, like you can't take it so seriously. Um, So I am not going to cater to audience members. I mean, I don't care how many followers I get. I'm not going to cater to the followers. Like I see content creators produce all this content, and I hope that they are authentically expressing themselves what they want to create, and not catering to an audience. Just and because they have to and they don't want to. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting a video to be relatable to a lot of people and wanting others to see it and wanting it to get out there there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're compromising your own identity for the viewer, and if you're doing it because, oh, the viewer would like this, and but I don't want to do it this way, but oh, I'm doing this because the viewer would like it, then that's what I'm talking about here. Like I'm sacrificing what I want to do just for the viewer. Like I am not going to do that. I'm going to do it in the way that's fun for me. I'm going to do it in the way that I want to do it, that I feel is right to do it, and that's going to be my reality. And I may get a lot of subscribers, I may get a little subscribers. I don't care. I'm going to do it the way that I want to do it. It's my channel. I can create it the way that I want to. I can create the videos that I want to. I can do the content that I want to. It is I have the freedom to create what I want to create, unless it's just wrong and unethical, and unless it has real world repercussions that are negative. Like, I have the freedom to do that, and I'm going to do that. So, you cannot please others online. Some people are going to like what you're doing, and others are not. Okay? That's just the reality of this world. That is just the reality of this world. Do not expect for every single person to like you because that is not the reality. That is not the reality. So stop catering to everyone's needs and making it so that others like you. Stop taking away your own identity and your own self for others to like you. Like if there's one year in astrology to really be concerned about authenticity, it is this year because look at all these planets and areas. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, are in Aries this year. The moon's in Aries with the new moon in Aries on April 16th. Saturn, Neptune, all in Aries. There's one year to be, on fire and be, authentic. It's this year, 2026. So, um, and Saturn in Aries is about having long-term goals that you yourself feel passionate about. I think I spoke about that in that long video that I did on Saturn in Aries, which is not in my Best of Google podcast, but I'm not going to do that video. I went into that, I think. I do believe I discussed that in there. But so do it how you want to do it. Now, if somebody gives a suggestion in the comments, you don't have to be defensive about it. You don't have to be argumentative about it and on a high horse. Like consider the suggestion, like checking with yourself. Like if the person's suggesting something like, "Hey, I actually really want to do this," then do it. If that person's giving encouragement and doing all that, and if you want to do it and that person's kind of reflecting that back to you, then do it. But if that person's giving you the suggestion or this criticism that you need to apply, and you're like, this is not true for me, and this is me, and this is the person doesn't know who I am, and the person doesn't respect me and doesn't appreciate me, and the person is making me feel like a bad and wrong person, then don't cater to them. Like you cannot do that. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself crazy. Like with all the comments that I'll be getting in my life, um, with all the followers that I get, with all the subscribers that I get, I cannot cater to all those comments. I cannot. Um, I will continue to respond to comments. I may not respond to every comment because there'll be so many. Um, I'll try to respond to as many as I can when the time comes, but likely I won't respond and I will feel like I just don't want to because I feel drained and I feel like I need to distance myself. Like it just can feel so real to me that I just need to take a break and take a breather and um and the more subscribers I get and the more following I get, the more real it's gonna feel and the more I need to meditate and potentially and draw boundaries and detach from all these comments and all these opinions. Like social media can be is great, but it's like with people online, with people in real life, where you can't be with them all the time. like also conditioning you to be with them, 20, you know, like you have to recharge your batteries. You can't be around people all the time. So the very, very last thing that I want to talk about is a conversation that I had with my family just the other day when I was telling them about about taking about talking about that one comment that I received. And I communicate in a very, very grounded way, in a very, not in a way where I'm just ranting and going off. I don't communicate that way. That's not my communication. That's not what it is. And I'm going to defend my communication because it's my Mercury replacement, and I'm going to embrace my Mercury replacement. So, um, you know, there was a family member who, was very, very rejecting of me speaking my truth about this one comment that I got. Like saying, what will your employer think of that? And I was like, here it is, the projection, the judgment, the assumption. Um, it happened before with what is your employer going to think of you before, making me feel like, oh, I am doing something wrong and I am not a good person for doing this, and I need to be very, very careful because otherwise, if an employer sees this, then they're not going to hire me. You know what? I don't think that that will be the case. I do not think that that will be the case. I think that an employer will respect me and admire my honesty and admire my sovereignty and my knowing myself and not have a problem with how I do my videos and about um talking about comments that I feel passionate about because that's just what I wanted to express. That's what I wanted to feel that's what I felt passionate about, and that's what I was expressing. I didn't name the person, I didn't give away their identity, I didn't do any of that. What is your employer going to think of this? What if an employer hires you and sees this? That was, I believe that was the comment made. Again, and I immediately got defensive. Oh, and then, oh, why are you so defensive? Why are you so argumentative? Well, I didn't start it. Somebody started it. And then now making me feel like I am a bad person, that I have a problem when it comes to my defending. Well, I'm going to defend myself if I feel like somebody's projecting on me. If somebody is um judging me, I'm going to defend myself and oh, why are you so defensive? Why are you not rational? Why are you not calm? Why are you not respecting the other person? Well, because making me feel like I have a problem. I don't have a problem. This other person started, and they have the issue because they are projecting onto me. They have the issue. I don't have the issue. That's what I want to say. So, so we were talking about, what if an employer sees this? What if this is the case? Um, and and also, not only that, but like putting people down, like very, very general. Like I can't talk about them the way that I want. I can't put myself out there and talk about others that hurt me, that that are attacking me. Like it's one thing to mind your own business and not talking about people hurting others and not getting in other people's business. Okay? It's one thing to not get in other people's business with their stuff. Like my Taurus North Node is get out of other people's business. Mind your own business and stop getting so worked up in the dramas of other people. Yes, that is true. But if somebody came to my channel and said that on one of my videos, then I'm going to say something about it on this Real Me podcast. Oh, you can't do this to people. You can't put yourself out there and say this about people. You can't like this negative conditioning around the word people, around the whole idea of people. There's this thing that is just so fragile that I have to be very, very careful of. Very, 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 it's just so real that I can't be free and authentic about it. Like, seriously, no, no. Now, granted, I am the one feeling secure in myself about this. Not everybody's going to feel secure about this. Oh my gosh. I hope that if I get into a job, I won't have to defend myself and over explain myself to employer. Well, you know what? In that case, I don't have the issue. They have the issue with me, not my issue, not my side of the street to clean up. It's like it's not your side of the street to clean up. And not every employer is going to be judgmental and critical and conditioning. A lot of them will be open and respectful and accepting and compassionate and you know ex, you know understanding you being your sovereign self. Because this world is a complex place. Like this whole conditioning around people are this, employers are this, everybody's that. Black and white thinking. The world is a nuanced, complex place, and you can't look at it in a black and white way. Okay? There's going to be different textures and different opinions and different viewpoints, and people are going to have different personalities, and some are going to like you, some are not going to like you. All goes back to that. The whole thing around people being something that you have to be very, very, like don't be mean to people, don't be aggressive and be um like mean and invading others privacy. Like there's a lot of conditions of being kind to people. Like yes, that is all true. I'm talking about self-expression when it comes to being on social media and expressing like it's okay to express publicly if somebody hurt you because you authentically feel this way and you want to express that out into the world. Like this somebody hurt me and I'm going to express it. Maybe not name them and give their identity away, but but this is what I authentically want to express because it's in my life. Like, oh, don't do that to people. You can't do that to people. What's that about? So that's, that conditioning and that little conversation that we had that I just want to bring up. Anyway, this has been a long enough podcast episode. I hope that I was recording and not just talking without the thing recording. I'm gonna get off now. Um, And I will see you in the next episode of the Real Me podcast. If I can find the thing. Bye for now, everybody.